Greetings, my excellent friends. We are a little late, but that's not really a problem, because we don't have enough material tonight to make 6 hours or 5 hours anyway. So, the back end of the stream will either be cut short or filler, depending on what time it is and how much energy I have. But we are finishing Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney 2, Justice for All, with the final single chapter of Farewell, My Turnabout, featuring just my favourite characters ever in this series. We got both of them. We got Edgeworth and Shelley DeKillia. There's only one other place you can go in the Ace Attorney series that has this high a concentration of classy bastards, and that place is not in the original Ace Attorney trilogy. It can be found in a different later game in the series. This may or may not be the last Ace Attorney we do for a bit. I'm currently literally in the process of debating in my head, and with occasional other people whose advice is asked for, but that's not that is not an open call. That is the people I speak to directly. As to whether the best thing to do is, after my weekend next week where I'm not here, just keep on going, or hold it. Get it, hold it. And start Ace Attorney 3 as close to when I release the music video that we're working on, and that is we are seeing some audio drafts of that. The last file I got was draft 17. I received draft 1, and the following day I received draft 3, and then later that day I received draft 17. Now I don't know what happened to draft 2. We don't talk about draft 2, no. And I don't know what happened to drafts 4 through 16. I think that might have been a joke. I'm not sure because I pointed that out when I was sent draft 3. I was like, where's draft 2? And then the next one I got was 17. So that's what I would do if I were, like, I would start just numbering them ridiculous. Like, the next one would be like, draft 79.373. I don't know. But it might legitimately have been just a bunch of minor tweaks that he just ran through. That's the person I'm talking about, Aaron Music Productions, who I asked to be involved with this because his name has Music Productions in it, and it made me think he probably knew his way around music. He does. So, he's doing very good work. And in February, and not necessarily in early February, it might be late February, the YouTuber Maximum Volti, who, if you look him up, you will find his work editing Ace Attorney to other shit. And he has like 3 million views on an Ace Attorney Smooth Criminal music video. I don't know how that idea came to being, but it's a wonderful little video. Certainly a lot more animated, haha, than mine will be, because my song is a bit slower, more deliberate, but it proves that the guy knows what it knows exactly what he's doing, and will make a wonderful video once he's ready to go. He said that he will slot it in for February. At least that's what he said a month ago. I checked in more recently, and he said it's probably looking not immediate, so a few weeks into February. So that's why I'm thinking March, start of March, hopefully, is when I will have something to put out into the world. But I may not. Maybe halfway through March or closer to April, because that's how these things go in today's time. So I don't know. I think if I decide to keep playing 3, it's probably the self-indulgent choice. But I should probably be playing Ace Attorney in some respect when it comes out, because that makes sense. If people watch that video and then want to see what I do, I should probably give them something in keeping with what they're looking at. So it might be better to put a detour on our Saturdays when I come back. But I've got an extra week to think about that. Anyway. Yeah, so Saturday the 12th will be the next Saturday stream after this one. So, shall we get into it? May all our attorneys be aces. I don't know why I said that, but I did. Alright, here it is. Eventually, has to load. What filler game do y'all want to see at the end of this, by the way? Presuming I have time for a filler game. As I say, there's 3 options, because I don't want to do anything new. I can either play some Streets of Rogue, which I haven't... It's been the longest time since I played that. I think the 14 folk maybe haven't seen me play that. But we also did some Payday Stealth last year, and we did some Dynasty Warriors Hack and Slash last year as well. 3 very different vibes. So if you have seen those, and you have a preference, let me know throughout today, and I may listen to you. Bazza, that doesn't count. I can't! I literally couldn't! I could log in, and no one would... Actually, that would be... That is actually a question I don't know the answer to. If I just suddenly... If I gave warning, I reckon I could actually get people together. But, like, if I just suddenly started streaming through, like, would people start playing? I do not know. I do not know. I do not know my own clout in that department anymore, because it has been so long. I assume it wouldn't. I assume it honestly wouldn't. Streets of Rogue, Helio Kami, you can look it up. It's like... It's a roguelike. The name, I think, is a reference to Streets of Rage, but it's nothing like that. It's a weird little top-down game. It's strange. March 23, 2:35 p.m. Courtroom number 3. How am I, Laurel? Quite good. We were just talking about how I might take a break before I stream Ace Attorney 3. I think I told you about the whole music video thing that I'm working on. I'm doing a parody song on Ace Attorney. But it's probably going to take another month or so to get sorted out, if not more. And so I was saying that I might, after tonight, stop streaming Ace Attorney for a little while and come back to it after that's ready and stream the 3rd game at a business-appropriate time rather than immediate. So just be aware of that. You've been popping in for my Final Fantasy XIV streams as well, and I appreciate that, so you'll probably still keep in the loop. But if I stop streaming Ace Attorney on Saturdays, I will come back to it. I just am tactically delaying it. But I may not. I might just decide to keep playing, and then maybe I'll do Apollo Justice after, or the Edgeworth games. I don't know. Well, I'll be deciding over Monday and Tuesday, so Discord will tell you the answer. Anyway, we're back from our recess. But they will return, Helio Kami. That's the whole point. Court will now reconvene. I assume both sides are ready. Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. I can understand the defense acting like this. However, why do you also seem distraught, Mr. Edgeworth? That is... It's nothing, Your Honor. What's wrong with Edgeworth? It looks like something unexpected just happened to him. And as I recall, we're currently, We're currently in a bit of a crisis off camera because Gumshoe was on his way to us with something very important, and then he crashed his fucking car, and we don't know where he is. And our best bet for getting a hold of him is to get Franziska to use her Gumshoe tracking device to locate the car wreck and hopefully retrieve the all-important item that I can't remember the exact nature of because it's been a week. Does anybody remember? It looks like something unexpected just happened to him. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you could please tell the court the results of the handwriting analysis on Ms. Impax's suicide note. Yes, Your Honor. Unfortunately, we have discovered that this suicide note is a forgery. What? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This note was not written by Ms. Impax herself. It is a fake. Order! 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 Mr. Edgeworth, would you care to explain what is going on? If this was not written by Ms. Impax, then who wrote it? We would need more time to do a more detailed analysis. However, it appears that the handwriting matches that of the victim, Mr. Juan Carida. Mr. Carida? Well, well. It looks like Miss Impax never left a suicide note after all. She never wrote anything about On Guard. However, Your Honor, even though this suicide note is indeed a fake, Mr. On Guard could not have known that. And so that fact... Huh? I think we just defeated grammar here. Mr. On Guard could not have known that, and so that facts remain unchanged. And so the facts remain unchanged? And so that fact remains unchanged? And therefore facts remain unchanged? I don't know. There's a lot of ways to fix that, but that sentence ain't going. That ain't working, especially not from Edgeworth. The is implied. It's correct. It might be correct under, like, strict edge case English. But find me someone who can deliver that sentence and sound like they know what they're talking about. And I mean, sound like they know what they're talking about to the people listening. I don't think so. I don't know how to intonate that. Is it Mr. On Guard could not have known that, and so that facts remains unchanged, and so that facts remain unchanged, and so that facts remain unchanged? That is a mess. That is a mess, and there were other ways to word the same thing that aren't messes, regardless of whether or not it's correct. Acting under the assumption that it was real, he had plotted to possess it. That does sound very plausible. This theory that On Guard had no idea that the suicide note was fake. Something seems a little wrong with it. I don't know what, but okay. The defense believes that the theory the prosecution has stated contradicts testimony. If everything the prosecution has proven up to this point is true, then it's impossible for Mr. On Guard to have not known it was a fake. Don't think it's my attorney badge. Don't think it's the Magatama. I don't think it's a photo. I don't think it's the press conference ticket, because Matt had nothing to do with that. wouldn't be the transceiver, it wouldn't be Lotta's camera, it wouldn't be a tabloid article, it would not be a map of the hotel, it would not be the empty guitar case, it would not be a wine glass, it would not be the crime photo, it would not be the button from the Jammin' Ninja, that was Andrew's work, it would not be the suicide report or the attempted suicide report or the autopsy report, it would not be the knife, it would not be Lotta's photo, it would not be Shelley de Killer's calling card. Could be this. It is impossible for Mr. On Guard to have not known it was a fake because Mr. On Guard was spying on Karita 24/7 and would have seen him make it? I guess? Ah, fuck. I hate to do this so early, but I have to get out of my chair right now because my air conditioner just filled. My air conditioner is a portable machine, which means it has a water tank, and that water tank has to be dumped or else it won't blow cold air. So yeah. Right. The air conditioner is humming along again at maximum whir. The spy camera says it was only for 1 hour. Yeah, but what else? I mean, I'm still going to go through and check the other things, but the implication is probably that he spies a lot. Yeah, I'm going with the spy camera. I mean, the bear is the same shit as the spy camera, isn't it? The camera is in the bear. If the game is fair and sensible, it will give you credit for whichever one you use, but if the game is like it usually is, it will only allow you to go with one. I don't know. I feel like the bear itself doesn't have an advantage over the spy camera for what... Like, if what we're talking about... The only reason we talk about the bear is because the camera is in the bear, therefore cut the middle bear and talk about the spy camera. Take that! Uh-oh. Oh, nope, there we go. That is tricky. It didn't cut the music, it faded the music. Which... doesn't really give you that sense of instant relief, such as the instant relief one gets when Bazza finally leaves a room. What is this little item called again? A video camera, Your Honor. Well, a very small one, but... Oh, that's right. A camera. You kids and your fancy toys nowadays. Mr. Edgeworth, earlier you claimed that Mr. On Guard knew of the existence of this note because he was spying on the victim. Is that right? If that were true... then this means Mr. On Guard would have known that the victim had forged the note. Ah! That doesn't sound right for him at all, but what the fuck? Ack! Ah! Be more like that. So then, the defendant knew this suicide note was a fake. And if that's true, then the situation has suddenly changed in a very dramatic way. Exactly, Your Honor. The prosecution's theory as to what Mr. On Guard's motive for murder was? It has suddenly disappeared into thin air. But, Your Honor, it's not as if Mr. On Guard monitored Mr. Corita 24 hours a day. Perhaps the victim wrote the note in a place Mr. On Guard didn't know of. Well, right back at you, Mr. Edgeworth. Why don't you show us some proof that the victim made the forgery at an unknown place? Yeah. Nya, nya. Nya, nya. Order, order, order! Mr. Edgeworth. Looks like this time it is you who has dug his own grave. As I figured. Huh? As you figured? Thank you. Anonymous laser firer. Man, the volume of that yell will never... Did we... Hang on. This here says current sub goal 49 out of 50, right? But my dashboard says 44. Did someone just manage to, like, renew a 5 gift sub just as 5 gift subs ran out? So that it doesn't... Because it takes a while to update that count. On both ends. My Twitch dashboard has a closer to accurate count, but it always takes a few minutes when new subs come in for them to be added. Meanwhile, this one, this Stream Elements one here, is the slowest. It takes the longest time to get updated and refreshed. Sometimes I actually have to... Yeah, that just changed again. That went back to 49 on my dashboard just went back up to 49. If the same... if it's the same person who did it 30 days ago, it's entirely possible that they're almost like just doing a monthly laser fire, which we won't be able to ask them about because they're, you know, staying hidden, which is totally fine. But probably a coincidence, because I wouldn't track that sort of thing. Does it? I don't know. Does it? It tracks your personal subs. I know that much. But if you gift subs, it doesn't really tell you. Well, maybe it does, but I don't think it was Snip. I feel like it wasn't Snip. I don't know. I feel like it wasn't Snip because... I don't know that Snip is the type to hide in the shadows. He's a streamer. It's like I would never anonymously donate anything. I love attention. I especially love it when people think I'm a better person than I actually am. That's one of my favorite things. But, you know. That may just be me. What Snip will do is that if anybody ever does anything anonymously, he will say, "You're welcome." Because he is Maui, I guess. Where's the reset button again? I can't remember. Stream Elements has a reset button. I was going to hit it, but I don't see it. Reset session. There. It hasn't actually changed anything, but I think it was frozen. I think my Stream Elements numbers were frozen because they do freeze occasionally. Anyway. Edgeworth's just standing there in shock. But yes, thank you for the renewed gift subs. Well, not really renewed, but for the randomized gift subs to Baka Shinobi, Ember Lore, Armads, Gamer from Oz, and Yawning Kitten there, who now all have my emotes again. I've been talking about emotes a bit lately, because I just don't do emotes. My emotes have remained static for years, and then maybe like once every 2 years we have an idea for something that could be an emote. Like that zombie face thing I showed yesterday. We want to make an emote out of that, which we may do. But yeah, now apparently I have like 9 sub-emote slots, 5 follower emote slots, 5 animated emote slots, but like the follower ones you can only use in your channel. So I don't want to take my sub-emotes and make them free, but I also don't really want to make any new ones. But that's just me. I don't use pictures to talk. So it's like, it's hard for me to justify or understand the value of buying a bunch of images for my branding, because I know that I would never need them. If, as a viewer, I just ignore emotes at all times. I'm not good at this. Anyway. As I figured, it came down to this after all. Mr. Edgeworth, you are not making any sense. When I heard the results of the handwriting analysis, I thought this might happen. The question is, what comes next? What next? The laser could be modified? That'd be difficult, I think. I don't know if there's enough space. Snip, it's a nice argument for altruism, since it's not true altruism if you want people to know it was you. I don't seek to, like, argue against that sort of view. I think it's terribly unhelpful, though. I don't think we should care about why people are doing good things if they're doing good things. Sure, if they're doing good things to cover up the fact that they're doing bad things on the side, that's something we should care about, but then they're not really doing good things, are they? But if they are literally, like, unambiguously doing good things, I don't give a fuck if they're doing it for glory. Keep doing the good things. Unless your impure motivations corrupt you, which they may, I don't care about them. Once they start to, then I care about them. But if they're not doing that... Results, man. Life's too painful and full of wankheads to be particular about good results. Yeah, those emotes are animated from the looks. And there's also just the general money thing. Like, you know, hiring someone to make an emote for you costs quite a bit, and I have to wonder if it's actually going to do me any good. Because I'm not good at using my emotes, therefore I'm not good at getting my community to. Like, my Hazar emote gets a good amount of use, it's very simple. My Panic Face emote gets a good amount of use, it's also very simple. The other ones I have don't get as much use. And that's okay. But I wouldn't want to invest in that. Most of those emotes are free because they're pictures of my face that we just low-effort crop together like that. I didn't pay for that. There's one of me, the shock one. I had a screen cap of myself doing a shocked face, and I asked someone to make an emote out of that, as in cut the image and make an like do what happened with that one, and they misread me and drew a picture of it instead. But they didn't charge me for it, so I just used it. I paid for the sub badges because those I quite like. But I tend not to go out of my way to pay for pictures because I don't understand them personally. Therefore, it feels like a bad investment. So I just wait until funny things happen that create emotes out of thin air that I have to pay for, because that's better. What next? If the prosecution can't prove Mr. Ungard's motive through the evidence, then we must prove it from another angle. Well, I agree with you there. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to call a witness to the stand at this time. Right. Those of you who do not know the story. Who's getting on the stand right now? If you know Ace Attorney, if you know this game, Matt Ungard. Let's take a look. It's not Maya, she's kidnapped. It's not Pearl, she's possessing Mia. Gumshoe is in a car crash. Franziska is who knows where. Edgeworth's the prosecutor. We've had Will. Lotta has not been on the stand, but has also not been involved in a very long time. Juan Carita's dead. All Bad's been on the stand. Matt Ungard's here. We've had Adrian. Celeste's dead. This one's with Maya. Oh. Well, that's fine. However, this witness is a little unusual. We cross-examined a parrot in the last game, Edgeworth. It's fine. We can cross-examine a defendant in this one. Edgeworth stuttering? This is not like him at all.
Unusual? Oh, well, what sort of witness is this person, Mr. Edgeworth?
This witness is one who is perfectly fit to answer once and for all the question of who was it that hired Shelley DeKillia to commit murder? That's impossible! Who in the... No such person exists who can answer that question with such certainty.
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth. Who is this witness?
It's...
Yes, go on. Who is it?
The man himself. Mr. Shelley DeKillia.
Oh, Mr. DeKillia.
Wait! Shelley DeKillia?
You mean the killer? I mean, the assassin?
Yes, Your Honor.
He's coming here? To the witness stand?
Well, yes, in a manner of speaking. I recognize that this is a very unusual circumstance, so I ask for your permission.
Well, Mr. Wright?
Yes?
Is this all right with you?
Do I have a choice here? I can't really do much else to drag this trial out. The defense has no objections, Your Honor.
I wonder if it is really all right to do this.
Oh, I don't know, Judge. You're the man whose job it is to decide how the law works. Well, not exactly. But it is your job to lay it down. So, who are you asking? Very well, then. The prosecution calls the witness to the stand. Edgeworth, is there no other way left to us? Now then, witness. You ready for it? Your name and your, occupation, please. Very good, sir. My name is Shelley DeKillia, and I am a professional assassin.
I say, but what is going on here?
Your Honor?
How can you remain so calm, and what is the meaning of this two-way radio?
Actually, Your Honor, it was delivered to me just now, and it came with a condition. As long as we do not trace its source, Mr. DeKillia will testify to this court.
How the fuck?
And of course, they're going to be very, very good boys and girls, and they're not going to run a trace, are they? No, that just wouldn't be fair play, would it? No, that would be frightfully naughty. No, we will listen to the assassin's demands, because he definitely would totally have a way of telling that we were doing that. Also, take a good look at the design of this radio. This one's actually a better picture. This is just purely a cosmetic thing. It's not a secret that's gonna, like, you know, it's not a bomb or anything, but it is in the form of his face. Do you think he designed this after his own face, or just conveniently found one? I like to think that he tinkers in his spare time. So here we are at my absolute favorite part of the game. In fact, I dare say this is my favorite part of the trilogy, although I may revise that because I've only played the third game once, so when we do get up to the third game, my memories are a lot hazier. So this must be what that urgent phone call he got earlier was about.
Oh no, this will not do. I cannot allow this in my court. First of all, we can't even be sure this is really Mr. De Killer himself.
Witness, please present some sort of proof that you are, in fact, Shelley De Killer. I understand. Please wait a second.
Huh?
I'm so hungry. Maya! Maya!
A voice! Mr. Wright, could you confirm anything from this?
The defense has no objections to this person. We are satisfied that this man is indeed Shelley De Killer.
It looks like we have run into yet another unexpected turn of events. Well, it doesn't seem like we have too many choices under these circumstances, so...
Now then, witness. There is one thing I would like to confirm before we speak of anything else. And what would that be? At the request of a client, you killed Mr. Juan Carida. Is this correct? It is as you say. I did indeed kill Mr. Carida. Now that we have answered that, let's move on to the name of your client. Very well.
This is all just a bad dream. Yes, that's it. Bad dream.
Shelley De Killer. What is he going to say? About my client. There is something I must first state. To an assassin, nothing is more important than the trust between a client and himself. And that is the reason I am here today on this witness stand. It is my wish that you grasp this concept before I give the name of my client.
Mr. De Killer seems to be a very clever man. I'd almost say he seems to be mocking us.
While he may appear to be our enemy, Your Honor, Mr. De Killer is only stating the truth. He is no hypocrite. He has always stood by this one belief.
You mean about this trust between his clients and himself thing? It seems to be a level of trust beyond what people like me can comprehend. Well, Mr. Wright, are you ready to cross-examine the witness?
Yes, Your Honor. There's no way to know what's coming next, so stay cool and collected, Phoenix. This case is the sole reason why the cross-examination music fits this game like a glove. You mean this track here? This is the only time in the game that it suits what's actually happening? Interesting musical philosophy contention here. By all means, go on. There is something I must first state. We can hear anything you have to say later. Can you please just tell us your client's... I don't think you understand your place, Mr. Attorney. I said this is something I must first state. Do you know what the word first means? Sorry, go on.
Well, it appears this is one witness you can't badger, Mr. Wright.
That's only because you don't know about my situation. To an assassin, nothing is more important than the trust between a client and himself. The trust between you and your client? I provide my services in a fast and efficient manner. In exchange, I trust that my clients are discreet about me and my identity. If too many people knew my face, it would be quite troublesome.
And that is why you're testifying in this manner? Using a radio that is uncannily designed to resemble your very, very, very secret face?
This is the first time one of my clients has ever been accused of murder. I must preserve the Dequilion name so my clients can trust me.
But couldn't someone stab you in the back and break your trust?
It has never happened before. But if it ever did...
Yes?
That person wouldn't be my client for very long. They would certainly...
That's enough! Please, no more!
Very well. It was only a hypothetical, anyway. And that is the reason I am here today on this witness stand.
That seems a little strange to me. I mean, you're about to tell us the name of your client. I would think that this would be very bad for them.
It doesn't matter to me. This client has already broken the rules and acted outside of their prescribed role.
Their role?
This person tried to implicate another of the crime in order to save themselves. And this is a trespass that cannot be forgiven.
Who gave you the right to be so high and mighty?
To the gentleman who spoke just now, excuse me, but would you care to die?
Ah! No! I didn't say anything! The judge had better watch himself.
It is my wish that you grasp this concept before I give the name of my client.
We understand, so please tell us the name of your client.
I'm afraid I cannot do that. I still have a few things to say before I do.
Egomaniacal.
It's not good for your health to be so aggravated. You won't live very long if you let everything bother you.
Somehow, that coming from an assassin makes it less than comforting. I don't really care about all this extra fluff, just tell us the name already!
Patience. Try to calm down a little. It's important to try and understand his mindset. He seems very steadfast and closed, so you're gonna have to work to get him to talk.
I'm not his therapist, you know.
That's it. I don't think we have any evidence for him. Like, he's not telling us lies in here. He needs us to grasp the concept. Do we prove that we grasp the concept? We have your card. I don't know. I'm just gonna run this again in case it's a... Yeah, no, there's nothing new here, but I'm just gonna run this again in case it's one of those, like, press again bait and switches, because I don't have any better idea. I'm not gonna read this over, but unless it turns to something new. That is not new. This one here, nothing is more important than the trust. Is that new? In exchange, I trust that my clients are discreet about me and my identity. These are the roles and duties an assassin and his client are to carry out. Is that new? It may not be. Oh, this is. I'm sorry, but I was wondering about something you just said. You said that your client had already broken the rules. A person who frames another is the worst kind of human. And that's why you feel you can betray this person? I have no trust relation with a client who cannot understand their assigned role. Just my luck, an assassin with a conscience. Who would have figured? Now then, everyone, do you think you can understand my logic? This case just keeps getting better and better. If you can't, then I'm afraid we can't proceed.
Everyone understands your point, I think. Really?
In that case, I believe I am prepared to disclose the information you seek. You have made it crystal clear that you value trust over all else. I believe we are ready. Excellent. And that is the reason I am here today on this witness stand. Now then, I do believe it is about time I revealed the name of my client. Don't you agree?
What is it?
Now I can't bring myself to ask the client's name. If you can't ask it, Mr. Wright, then I will. Witness? What is the name of your client who requested the murder of Mr. Juan Corrida? That person's name is... Adrian Andrews.
What? Witness! That's not who you told me it was earlier!
Huh? Pray tell, what are you talking about, Mr. Prosecutor? I should think I know my own client, and it is Adrian Andrews.
What? This can't be! On the phone earlier. What's going on here?
My guess is that Mr. DeKiller just stabbed Mr. Edgeworth in the back.
Stabbed Edgeworth in the back?
I'm sure in order to get an audience with this court, Mr. DeKiller told him a different name. Matt on guard, perhaps?
I knew it. This is outrageous! I was deceived! This witness is telling a very serious lie! But you were the one who summoned this witness. You... Shelley the killer!
My testimony is the truth. The defendant at the moment is Matt Ungard, am I correct? All I wish to do is help procure his acquittal. Wow. All of a sudden, it feels like we can actually win this.
Yeah. The prosecution has failed to provide a motive, and has instead provided this suicide note, which is a forgery created by the victim. Furthermore, there is a possibility the defendant himself knew it was a fake. But most definitive of all, we have heard from the assassin himself the name of his client. Mr. DeKiller's client, who requested the murder, was not the defendant at all.
No.
With all this evidence, it is obvious to me that this means that Mr. Matt Ungard is innocent.
I seem to have caused you all a bit of confusion. Please continue your discussion and call me when you have reached a verdict. Goodbye.
Bailiff, please bring Miss Adrian Andrews in immediately.
What now? With the way this is going, Ungard will be found innocent. This may be our last chance to save Maya.
Yeah, but Edgeworth is right. DeKiller is lying. And Ungard, my client, I know he's guilty. Can I live with myself if I win this?
Who would have believed that the prosecution's own witness would absolve the defendant?
Your Honor, the prosecution requests permission to further question the witness. Shelley DeKiller is certainly lying under oath.
It wasn't me. Listen, everyone, please. That testimony just now, it was all one big lie.
Miss Andrews.
The suicide note may have been a fake. But that man, Matt, he's the reason Celeste died. And Juan's death, it was all because he got pulled into Matt's twisted world. That testimony just now, you have to believe me, it was a horrible, horrible lie.
But Mr. DeKiller himself has testified. He has named you as his client.
No, that's not true.
Also, there is quite a bit of evidence that points to you. The knife and button, donning the nickel samurai costume.
But that's...
You even have a motive. We know that Ms. Celestine Pax was a large part of your life. You wanted to follow her. But you wanted revenge against the two who hurt her. I would say you have plenty of reasons to want them both dead.
No. Mr. Wright. You know the truth. Tell them. Tell them the real story. Who the real killer is. Tell them. Please. Help me.
Yes, I know the truth.
Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor.
I believe we have reached the end of this trial. Therefore, I ask the defense for any final words or opinions.
I have to decide. Do I take the not guilty verdict and save Maya? Or do I throw this chance away and wait for Gumshoe's new evidence? What am I supposed to do?
What do we think, guys? Easy wins? Or moral superiority?
Easy win, easy game. What actually happens if you like go with it? Because it's not. It's not like game over guilty the way it normally is. I don't know. This is a bad ending. Do we want to explore it? We could save. We could save and explore it. Fuck it, let's win. Your Honor, the defense requests that...
It's no use. I can't. It feels like I've lost my voice. Phoenix? I can't do it, Mia.
I can't accept a not guilty.
You are a lawyer.
I know! But Matt on guard is a killer! A murderer! I can't let him get away with this. I can't let someone else take the fall. If I let Ms. Andrews be convicted, then I am no better than on guard. And even though I don't want to admit it, I have to face the fact that it is because of Edgeworth that I now know the real truth. He could have gotten on guard convicted so many times over, but he never took a single one of those chances. If I take this verdict right now, I'd be betraying his trust. His trust? I never thought about it until now. I trust him.
Yes, you do.
Mr. Wright, your opinion, please.
The defense requests that we be allowed to further question Mr. DeKiller.
Am I hearing you correctly, Mr. Wright?
Right.
But the witness has cleared your client through his testimony. Your job here is done.
I'm not done yet. See through witnesses' lies and find the truth. That is my job, Your Honor. There's still more evidence to look at. And I'm sure that once those pieces arrive here in this very courtroom, a miracle will occur. This isn't in Kanto.
Very well. The trial will continue. Mr. Edgeworth, please re-establish connection with Mr. DeKiller.
Right away, Your Honor. Blip, bloop, 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 blip, bloop, bloop. Has a verdict been reached? Before that, we would like to talk with you a little more. About? All you needed from me was the name of my client. What else could you need me for? Well,
Actually, we would like to hear everything you know about this case. That is how things are usually done.
What is he talking about, usually done?
But what shall we have him testify about now? Mr. DeKillia, if you don't mind, please testify about your client in more detail. You legal people and your procedures. Is it any wonder no one likes to go to court? About my client, Part 2. As I have already stated quite a few times, Adrian Andrews is my client. However, one thing I simply cannot overlook is tampering with the scene of the crime. My client did it to frame another for the crime, while pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene. Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Juan Corrida was dead. But even more appalling is the creation and planting of the knife and button. That act is what I was referring to when I said my client had broken the rules. This is a most unexpected turn of events. For the, 5th time now. However, this time, everything has finally been revealed. Objection! What the fuck now, Mr. Edgeworth? Sorry. Just a second, Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth. We still have the cross-examination to do. But you don't need to question testimony like this, do you, Mr. Wright?
Your Honor, the defense will question the witness. As if I had a choice here.
Why? What this witness has said is nothing but beneficial to the defense's case. If you scrutinize the testimony, then
I'll expose the lies in that oh-so-beneficial testimony, I suppose. Oh, God. Well.
I don't understand what's going on anymore.
That makes two of us. As I have already stated quite a few times, Adrian Andrews is my client. However...
What is it, Mr. Wright?
If I press him the wrong way, it might raise suspicions on his end. But I have to do something to waste more time. Witness. About requesting a hit.
Yes?
How much is your fee? I see you are also quite a dark-hearted man, Mr. Attorney. Huh? If you would like to talk business, we can do so after the trial.
No, I'm not thinking of hiring... Mr. Wright!
Yes?
You want to kill me! You want me dead! Don't you?
What? Why would you think something like that, Your Honor?
Guilty! Mr. Phoenix Wright! You are hereby declared guilty!
Witness, let's continue. Why did you disclose the name of your client? They are your client, are they not? One thing I simply cannot overlook is tampering with the scene of the crime. I would think that most people wouldn't be able to overlook a person hiring another to kill. If I had a problem with such a thing, I wouldn't be very effective at my job. Yeah. Well, a change in occupation might be good for you. However, I will say this. Even though I am the one that does the deed, my clients are always the real guilty party. That goes without saying, Mr. DeKillia. And their fate is to live with the knowledge of their guilt on their shoulders. However, my client this time thought that they could run away from their guilt.
My client did it to frame another for the crime.
Are you talking about the button and the knife?
Yes, and my business card.
Oh, this card.
So that no one has to waste their time, including the police. I always make it a point to make things as easy as possible.
You try to make things easy?
My business card makes it very easy to identify who carried out the service.
He's pretty devoted to his work.
But to disregard everything, to go and stab the deceased with a knife, and even hide my card from sight, that is something I cannot overlook.
It's really hard to tell if he's being truthful or not without him being here.
While pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene.
So you're saying most clients wouldn't do such a thing?
That is correct. Usually, most people try to create an alibi for themselves. If you should use my services, Mr. Attorney, I would suggest you plan for your alibi too.
No, I already told you. I have no intention of using your services ever. Why does he keep looking at me like I'm the one on trial here?
Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Juan Carita was dead.
From the very beginning?
That is correct. From before my client visited the room. All of my clients know precisely what the situation is at all times.
I wonder if that's really true.
That's odd.
Huh?
But even more appalling is the creation and planting of the knife and button.
This is the suspect's statement, by the way. We'll get back to it once we're done pressing. So why do you think your client did that?
What do you mean by why?
Well, fiddling around at the scene of a crime is pretty risky. And why would someone who has requested a murder go to the crime scene anyway?
That is true. I assume it was probably done to frame Mr. Engard.
If that's the case, then why didn't the person just request that you do it?
Sadly, that is not possible.
Huh?
My job is to kill. That is all. And to leave my business card behind, naturally. The business card is so my clients may escape blame. To protect them is my duty. Even if they say it is for revenge, setting someone else up to take your fall. That act is what I was referring to when I said my client had broken the rules.
And that's all you have to testify?
Yes, and I pray that I will never be called to the stand again.
Again? As in you plan to continue?
I must, as I have yet to find a person to take my place and become the fourth successor. Actually, how would you like a new life, Mr. Attorney?
Excuse me? No, I'm fine, really.
Are you really now?
I wonder what kind of man the judge thinks I am now.
What are you going to do now, Phoenix?
All I can do is expose the lies.
That's true. However, you realize that will be very bad for our client, right? I'm so confused.
But the one thing I know for sure is I can't let this trial end yet.
Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Juan Carita was dead.
So why the song and dance with the wine glass then, unless it was some kind of elaborate production? This I'm pretty sure is the breakthrough we made here. Oh yes, got it in one. Thank you so much for taking the time to testify, Mr. DeKiller.
What is the meaning of that attitude?
When Adrian Andrews entered the victim's room, Your client had no idea that Juan Carita had been murdered.
But how do you know that?
From this wine glass, Your Honor.
The glass?
Mr. De Killer's supposed client thought Mr. Carita had only fainted, which is why this glass of tomato juice was poured for the victim.
But isn't that just a part of Adrian Andrews' calculated plan?
No. That is not possible, Your Honor. This glass bears the fingerprints of that person. Had this been planted, they would never have left their fingerprints behind. It's curious wording.
I see your point. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion?
Strangely enough, I had the same exact thought just now. Witness, how do you explain this strange phenomenon? Isn't it a waste of time to ask about such a minor detail? It's not a very important point anyway, correct?
I'm afraid you are mistaken. If Adrian Andrews really is your client, as you claim, then your client should have had knowledge of Mr. Carita's death. If not, then that can only mean that Adrian Andrews was never your client at all.
How strange.
Yes?
Why is it that the attorney has yet to raise an objection at this absurd situation? Phoenix, if De Killer figures out what we're up to, we're in real trouble. Yeah, I know. Mr. Edgeworth! I'm surprised. You know you can't say things like that without any evidence. Ah, sorry.
Well, that was an awfully weak objection for the two of you.
Anyway, I am positive there was a contradiction in that testimony. The prosecution requests further testimony concerning when the request was taken. Very well. Right now I have to buy us more time. While we wait for the items De Killer left behind to get here. I just know that the very outcome of this trial lies with those items. Request taking. This request came to me... about a week ago. It was It was a request for my services on the night of the awards ceremony. We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. That is what occurred. I trust my memory, and I believe I have made no mistakes.
So you physically met your client, eh?
That is correct. Meeting one's client is the first step to building trust, in my opinion.
I see. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please.
This request came to me, about a week ago. 1 week ago? Are you so sure? Yes, I am quite sure. It's been 1 week since they hired me. How do the requests get to you before meeting? CrimeNet? I, of course, had my own preparations, and I was barely able to finish. When you request my services, Mr. Attorney, I hope you will keep that in mind. Please, stop! In any case, my client this time had a very specific date and time in mind. A specific date and time. It was a request for my services on the night of the awards ceremony. Did you ask why on that specific night? No. I tried to fulfill all the conditions of my client's request, but as for why, I only had my suspicions. Your suspicions, huh? So what are these suspicions you had? Why did your client request that night? I'm sure it was all for the bear. The bear?
My client spoke of it. I'm sure there will be a bear-shaped figurine in Juan Corrida's room. I would like you to retrieve that item for me. He must be talking about this bear puzzle. Inside that figurine was a suicide note. Naturally, the victim brought it with him to his hotel room. He was planning to publicly disclose its contents at the press conference after all. That is correct. And if I had not done the job that night, I would not have known where that bear figurine was. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance? Maybe. The testimony just now has made one thing clear, and that is the client knew the secret of the bear figurine. Huh? Why is everyone so quiet? Mr. Wright, I think all of us already knew that. Oh, really? Witness, please continue with your testimony. Please ignore the professional straw grasper. We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. So you physically met Adrian Andrews, right? Of course I did. What was that? What was that brief pause? Witness, I would like for you to give us a few more details. I always meet my clients as a matter of principle. I have never taken a request by telephone or mail. And why is that? That's because I value the trust between a client and myself above all else. And the only way to establish that is to speak to the client while looking them in the eye. Also, telephones and emails are evidence, you fucking moron. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance? Of course it was very important, Your Honor. If Mr. DeKiller had met his client before the murder, then it's unlikely he is mistaken. So you're saying that his client really was Adrian Andrews? I guess so. You see, it is just as I said. I'm so lost. Who the heck am I supposed to be helping here? Calm down, Phoenix. Think carefully and relax. Now then, would the witness please continue? That is what occurred, and I trust my memory. I believe I have made no mistakes. So your client was Adrian Andrews? That is correct. Well, he says the two of them met. But if they did, then there shouldn't be anything wrong with DeKiller's testimony. Well, there doesn't seem to be anything strange this time around. You have to draw more information from him, but you can't draw his suspicion. Bow, 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 bow. If you can do that, you should be able to find a flaw in his testimony somewhere. Talk about a delicate balance. Another round of pressing again? It seems like this guy's more of a press challenge than an evidence challenge. You met. How tall was she? Yeah. What DeKiller said sounds plausible, but in the end it's just his conjecture. No, Your Honor, I don't think this is very important. Well then, witness, please continue. Physically met... There's gotta be something in here, but... Why he meets his clients is not important, and that wasn't the point. Witness, please stop sidestepping my questions. What do you mean by that? My question was, did you really meet Adrian Andrews in person? I have already told you, Mr. Wright. I did. It was only through talking with him face to face that I began to trust him.
That's when I thought, I can trust this person as a client.
It's true what they say about talking face to face. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance?
Quite a fucking bit, Your Honor. If I heard what I think I heard just now, then I think I got him. Your Honor, I believe the testimony just now was of the utmost importance.
Really? If that's the case, witness, please include the statement just now in your testimony.
I like that Edgeworth and the judge and everybody else in the room haven't jumped at it.
Very well.
From the moment I saw him, I thought, I can trust this person as a client. But yeah, if you notice, every mention of Adrian Andrews while the killer was on the line up until this point has avoided pronouns. Other than they, them. And that wasn't a deliberate trap set by the cast, because they all did it. That was literally just the writers bending over backwards in order to create this simple misstep. And it does get really awkward sometimes. Though I pointed out when Phoenix did it really, really egregiously. Not that, you know, they, them pronouns are awkward. They're fine when referring to someone who goes by them, but it is odd when it is deliberately done that way for someone who does not. But as we know now, that was not how it turned out, correct?
What do you mean?
Adrian Andrews turned out to be a client who couldn't stick to the rules, right?
Well, yes.
I suppose you are correct.
So I would like to check one last time. Are you sure your testimony is accurate?
Well, I got news for you, buddy. I would like to go over this one more time. You met Adrian Andrews at a bar and took the request at that time?
Yes, that is correct.
And that's when you thought he was trustworthy?
How many times must I repeat myself? Yes, that is correct.
I'm sorry, but that is an impossible tale.
What?
Shelley the Killer. You have never met the real Adrian Andrews.
Why would you say that?
Because you made one very big slip-up about her.
So what is the issue?
What did you say just now? About her. If you had ever met Adrian Andrews in person, one look would have told you that she is a woman. Well, that's not really very polite. We have moved past the point of using sight to determine gender. That is not a thing we do nowadays, unless we're an asshole or a boomer. Little bit dated, Phoenix, but moving on. No! Order! Order in the court! Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this? Snip is technically accurate here, though it is a bit misleading what he's saying. The funny part about Phoenix Wright as a series is that when it was designed in the early 2000s, written in the early 2000s, published in the early 2000s, it was set in 2016 to 2020, I think. I can't remember the exact years, but the original trilogy is set between 2016, 17, 18, 19. I don't know why they chose that. They wanted it to be in the near future, I guess. But yeah, technically speaking, Phoenix Wright is set in today's age, or, you know, today, just 5 minutes ago, back before COVID, but with the perspective and the attitudes of the time it was written in, because you can't escape that. Phoenix Wright 2, technically speaking, the English version was written in 2006-07, but the Japanese original, which came out on the Game Boy Advance, would have been 2002 or 3, yeah. Because the original Ace Attorney trilogy was, like, around about the same time as, like, Star Wars prequels and Lord of the Rings trilogy, but they came out in Japan only on the DS, on the Game Boy Advance. Then when they refurbished them for the DS, when they added Rise from the Ashes and made them look a little nicer, we have English versions get localized for that. Blip 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 blip. Welcome, and also lurk. This witness testified to the following: that he always meets face to face with his clients when taking their request. It's reckoned that Phoenix's birth year was either 1992 or 1993. The movie had way better tech, which played up the near-future angle of it. Yeah. Yeah, they don't even bother to try and, like, future imagine the tech. They just use cell phones and stuff that they had when they wrote it. Snip. Prime example of the dodging pronoun mentions was when Edgeworth said, "If Adrian Andrews really is your client as you claim, then your client should have had knowledge of Mr. Karida's death." Most people would put a pronoun instead of a repetition of your client. Yeah, they could have used they there as well. Because it said, if Adrian Andrews really is your client as you claim, then they should have had knowledge of Mr. Karida's death. That would have flowed better, even if some people would have been like, why not say she there? But yeah, it would have been one thing if they literally let us in on it and said, hey, Phoenix and Edgeworth are collaborating to draw the wrong pronoun out of the killer, and had them do it deliberately, and then had the judge just not say any lines that hit that problem. But they didn't. They just, you know, made it a happenstance, and it is awkward as hell. That he always meets face-to-face with his clients when taking their request. But he has never met Adrian Andrews in person. Yes, Your Honor, that is exactly the point. That means Mr. de Killea's clients could not have been Ms. Adrian Andrews. Mr. Edgeworth, I understand your logic on this one. However, why would the assassin make such a basic mistake? I believe it has to do with her name, Your Honor. Her name? Yes. Adrian Andrews is without a doubt a very androgynous name. Yes, I see. Unluckily for Mr. de Killea, the entire time he was on the stand, no one had stated Adrian Andrews' gender. And so he simply picked the wrong gender to go with. What? What is going on? Shelley de Killer! This court demands an explanation. I think somehow I must have mixed up this client with another. So does that mean you remember something different now? Yes, of course. Please, if you would allow me to testify once more. I know he's just going to spit out more lies. Very well, but this time, please give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you, I'll shove my gavel right up your radio transmitter. Yes, now I remember. I took that request by mail. There have been times when I took a job without having met my client. The request was for the murder of one Corrida and 2 or 3 other small things. When I saw the name at the end of the letter, I thought my client to be a man. So you took this job through a letter. He didn't mention anything about a letter in his earlier testimony. Which means he's definitely lying. Be careful, Phoenix. If you break the assassin's testimony completely, it's over for us. What are we supposed to do? Play the game or not play the game? I know. I can't make him suspicious, but... dear. I think we're okay. Like, we can do this. As long as he's standing there across from me. No matter how strong of a punch I throw, he'll counter it. Now then, let's begin the cross-examination. Yes, now I remember. I took that request by mail. But didn't you just say that you always meet your clients? Yes, I suppose I did say that. However, there are some clients for whom a meeting is simply not possible. But didn't you meet your client this time? No, I did not. Oh, come now, let's stop with this game of cat and mouse. Using your silkiest voice is not going to work on me. Alright then, just cough it up and confess! Mr. Wright, you can't badger a witness with such harsh words. You're a lawyer, so behave like one and present evidence instead of mindlessly yelling. Now then, do you have any proof that Mr. Killer met with his client? No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm sorry, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I don't have any proof. I see. Then your line of questioning was just another waste of time. Sadly for us, Your Honor, that is the nature of right and wrong. There have been times when I took a job without having met my client. And why could you not meet certain clients? Recently, I have been receiving more requests. If I met each and every client, I would lose some nice business opportunities. Nice business opportunities? On top of which, the times have changed. It is now the age of information and computers, correct? Well, I have joined the times, and now take requests via electronic mail. Electronic mail? Do you have to mail that in a special insulated envelope? Ah, I'm very sorry. I despise the shortening of words. What I meant by electronic mail is what is commonly referred to as email. Email? In a contest of mimicry, the judge would beat a parrot hands down. Anyway, you took this job without having met your client, and... the request was for the murder of one Corrida and 2 or 3 other small things. 2 or 3 other things? Yes. And what were these other things? A few other things that have nothing to do with this case. What should I do? Should I let him slide with that? Fuck no! It'd be really bad if I pushed his buttons the wrong way and he got mad. Whether or not they're related to this case is for the court to decide. Mr. Attorney?
Yes?
Everything I have said from the beginning has been nothing but beneficial to your client. Which is why I wonder what is pushing you to continue with this cross-examination. Could it be that you are planning to betray your own client?
That's...
I smell the stench of a backstabber. And should you turn out to be one...
Wait. Uh-oh. This is looking really bad. I shouldn't press my luck. Alright, I have to think. Is this worth pursuing? Yes.
Witness, this is a very important matter.
Please cooperate and tell us what these other jobs your client requested were.
If it's truly that important, I suppose I don't have much of a choice. The bear figurine.
The bear figurine?
After the assassination of the target, I was to find that figurine. I was told that this job was just as important as the actual killing.
And where was that figurine?
It was inside Mr. Karida's suitcase.
And then, what did you do next?
I handed it over to my client right away.
You gave it to your client? Interesting.
This information certainly sounds important to me. Witness, please include what you just stated in your testimony. As you wish. One of these was to find the bear figurine and to give it to Adrian Andrews.
Blow, blow, blow. Blow, blow, blow. Blow, blow, blow. I found this figurine at Mr. Onguard's mansion. If you gave it to Miss Andrews, then what is it doing there?
I was waiting for her there. That was also part of the plan to frame Mr. Ungard, I'm sure. That makes a lot of sense. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any problems with this piece of testimony?
Maybe? I mean, yes, because he never met her. And yet, he met her? So the killer says he gave the figurine to Ms. Andrews. But I know somewhere in that statement there is a contradiction. And yet, I know that if I present something trivial here, he will cut the connection on his end. If you want to make a strong point, Phoenix, you have to present strong evidence. She's right. So now what? Now what, Dr. Wright? I mean, there's supposed to be evidence here, otherwise they wouldn't build it up like this, but I don't actually know what to present. I don't know that I have any evidence that, tells my point as it is. The photo in the hallway, the passing of the bear. The photo in the hallway is Adrian dressed as the samurai walking out of one creator's room. There is no photo of the passing of the bear. There was a picture of the passing of the bear, but that was Will Power's testimony, and it was his recollections. It wasn't a photo that we had. It's no use. As long as I can't put my finger on the central problem here, pressing this witness anymore would be extremely dangerous.
Well, it appears that Mr. Wright has no problems. Well then, witness, please continue. When I saw the name at the end of the letter, I thought my client to be a man.
So
you're saying that you never saw your client's face? Not even once? I did. Once. It was when I went to give my client the figurine.
Yes, I see.
But Ms. Andrews was wearing a mask at the time. A mask? The Nickel Samurai mask, I'm guessing.
Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about this? Do you have any problems with this piece of testimony?
One thing does sort of stick out at me, Your Honor. Witness, I think you most definitely saw your client's face. Let's recall Mr. Power's testimony.
After the award ceremony, I went by myself to Matt's room. Matt was standing there in front of his room, still in his Nickel Samurai costume. Matt gave the bellboy a tip.
You received quite a large roll of cash from Mr. On Guard. And at the time, he was not wearing his Nickel Samurai mask. Oh!
Order! Order! Yes, now that you mention it, I do remember that. Witness?
Yes. That night I did wander the floor as a bellboy. I received plenty of tips that night for carrying juice to the various rooms. Is that so wrong? Huh? The man who gave me that tip was not my client. He was probably just a very generous person. I'm sorry, but sadly we are not nearly so generous here. If I could receive large rolls of cash by simply bringing people things on trays, then why on earth would I stand around here prosecuting? Oh, the deja vu. And isn't his salary more than enough for one man?
And where is your evidence that the large roll of cash was not in fact a tip? Come, Mr. Edgeworth, show me the money.
What? Mr. Attorney? Yes? You know, I think your line of questioning has been a little strange. In fact, I would say you don't seem to believe Ms. Andrews is my client. Oh, no, it's not like that at all. I just think lies aren't a good thing, you know? Oh, I know. And agree. Lies are not a good thing at all. I think we are on the same page now, aren't we, Mr. Attorney? Remember, if I feel threatened in any way, I am free to cut contact at any time.
I'm sorry! Please forgive my foolishness!
If only you were this apologetic all the time. Anyway, I do not see a huge contradiction here. Therefore, you may continue, witness.
We've pretty much reached the end of our rope here. Huh? Seems like we're still okay to me. And that's exactly what is so bad. At the rate we're going, we will end up completely destroying the killer's lie. If we do that, you already know how serious of a situation that will put us in. Oh yeah. All I can do now is pray that those items reach us in time. Well, we've run out of things to press. Oh, is that it? Oh, it was the wrong statement. It was this one. I found it at On Guard's mansion. What was it doing there? That was also part of the plan to frame Mr. On Guard, I'm sure. So the killer says he gave the figurine to Ms. Andrews, but I know there's a contradiction in there, and yet I know that if I present something trivial, he will cut the connection. If you want to make a strong point, you have to present strong evidence. Let's try strong evidence. Witness, let's go over this one more time. You gave Ms. Andrews the bear figurine, and she told you to take the bear and wait for her at On Guard Mansion. Is that correct? Yes. Where are you going with this? Well, I think maybe you might have remembered a few things incorrectly.
What?
This is a battle of wits. I can't let up on him. I don't think it is possible for Ms. Andrews to have been the recipient of this bear. Because she'd have opened it. Immediately. Only Karida and Andrews know how to open it. The note was still in the bear. If she got her hands on it, she would have taken it away and burnt it like she always said she wanted to do. It's this one.
Take that!
Huh. It's funny because it wasn't it wasn't that piece of evidence that made me think of it. It was this. Shelley de Killer. If you had really given the bear to Ms. Andrews, then this item should not have been inside of it. This item? I remind you, Mr. Attorney, that I am participating in this courtroom via audio feed. You may consider me to have all the sensate capacities of Nevermoon in this situation, and you shall have to be a little more specific. I see where you're going. I don't. Yep, that's where I'm going. Where is everyone going? Do I need to pack a suitcase? Your Honor, please think back to Ms. Andrews' testimony. And I was going to burn it. For her sake. If even for a single minute this bear had actually been in Ms. Andrews' hands, I'm sure she would have taken the suicide note out and burned it. Order! 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 So that's where you two were going. So by the very fact that this suicide note was still inside the bear, it tells us that your client did not know how to disassemble the puzzle. Which means... It means, Your Honor, that it is impossible for Adrian Andrews to be the client. Ugh. Order! 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 Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'm sure I mentioned this before. How I hate traitors above all else. I think your cross-examination has clearly demonstrated something to me. You must wish to break your end of our agreement. No, that's not... That's enough! If that is your intention, then there is only one thing for me to do. Wait, please! Gentlemen, ladies, please excuse me. I have a matter that I must attend to. No! Please! Not that, but please wait! Mr. Attorney, bring this trial to a speedy end, and I may stay my hand. Otherwise... What in the... Mr. Wright, are you... Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. I didn't understand this witness's outburst just now. Do you think there is a need to hear more testimony, or is that enough? Well, we should, Edgeworth, we can't do this. If we keep this up, Maya, she'll... The prosecution, What has come over everyone, even you, The prosecution... rests. What is going on around here? The prosecution has no further questions, Your Honor. What?
Well, I never thought I'd see the day. This is a most unusual situation. If the prosecution rests with no further questions, then the prosecution has failed to uphold its stance. If that is the case, then even though I am reluctant, I must believe that Mr. De Killer's testimony is accurate. That would mean that Shelley De Killer's client is Adrian Andrews. Mr. Wright,
Yes, Your Honor?
if I end the trial right here, right now, then your client, Matt On Guard, will be declared innocent. And in his place, Adrian Andrews will be charged with murder.
Miss Andrews would be charged with murder.
The prosecution has no further questions, so we will now hear the defense's final remarks. Bailiff, please bring the defendant, Matt On Guard, to the stand.
The items from De Killer's hideout didn't make it in time. We tried as hard as we could, but it looks like our time has run out. I can't believe it. The outcome now lies in your hands.
Dude, did the old guy finally decide?
To be honest, I can't think of you as a truly innocent and good person. You have done enough evil to drive a woman to suicide. But, at least on the charge of murder, it would appear you are innocent.
So, I guess even the old fuddy-duddy figured me out.
Mr. On Guard?
What an atrocious lawyer I have. Giving his own client up like this. And that refreshing like a spring breeze crap. It's just atrocious. Don't you agree? Anyway, get on with it and pronounce me innocent already. Right, Mr. Lawyer?
Should I side with justice? Or should I save Maya's life?
You better get on guard a guilty sentence, okay?
But if I did that, Maya will die. But if I say he's innocent, then Miss Andrews will be charged as the murderer. If I speak, Maya's condemned. If I stay silent, I am damned. Do I say he's guilty? Or not guilty? Either choice I make, someone's life is going to end. It all hinges on what I choose.
Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear the defense's final statement on this matter. If the person who hired the assassin was Adrian Andrews, then your client, Mr. Matt On Guard, is innocent.
There's no need to ask, old man. After all, my lawyer is going to say what I want. Aren't you?
Right. I can't do this! But I have to decide something! I can't count on the evidence to help me anymore, I have to listen to my heart! My client, Matt On Guard, is... I should have saved a second ago because my button's not working. I can't save on this level. I'm pretty sure there's a bad ending if you click on not guilty. Like it does a full-on bad ending. Usually I like to explore those. I'm really annoyed now because my save button isn't here. I don't know how far back, like when did we save? A while ago.
You think it rewinds back to this moment? Does it do that for you? Can you be certain? I think it would be cool to explore both endings and present all of the content because we have more time than we normally do. Alright. Let's hit not guilty and do the bad end. We'll do the bad end. If we have to skip through a bunch of dialogue to get back to this point, I'll be annoyed, but we can do it. Hopefully, the game is kind enough to set you back to this moment after you explore the bad end. Whoa. I hope they're okay. I don't know if you heard that. We are waiting for your answer, Mr. Wright. Matt on guard, your client deserves an answer. That was intonated wrong. Made it sound like Matt on guard's client deserved an answer, but still. Maya. I'm sorry. Matt on guard is...
Objection!
Did I hit it right? I thought I hit not guilty. Oh, it's later! Okay, well, let's save here just in case I don't save at the later point. Good. Franziska von Karma! Love this splash page, by the way. What are you doing here? Ow! You see now, don't you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? This is exactly why you should never take your eyes off of that scruffy fool. Did you bring them? The final pieces? Do you have them? You should know better than to ask that, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. Von Karma is perfect in every way. The evidence is here in perfect condition. Don't worry about Scruffy. He's fine, and his injuries are minor. All of the items are inside this. What a filthy old coat this is! That's Gumshoes. I can spot his tattered rags anywhere. I apologize for its ugliness, but there was nothing else to wrap the items in. I fought long and hard this whole trial. All for what is inside that raggedy coat. I'm sure that inside that coat lies a crucial piece of evidence. And a lot of lint. Your Honor, inside that filthy coat are the defense's final pieces of evidence. Your final evidence? Blah-na-na-na. Blah-na-na-na. Blur-blur-blur-blur. This trial is already over. All that remains is for me to hand down my verdict. I do not believe that any evidence presented now would change the outcome of this trial. What?
Objection!
Your Honor, it is our duty to examine every piece of evidence down to the last. I request that Ms. von Karma be allowed to present these pieces of evidence. I suppose you are right, Mr. Edgeworth. I grant you permission to do so. However, this one obvious rule applies here. If these items do not bring up any new points, then they will not be accepted by this court. Now, Miss von Karma, if you please. These pieces of evidence are items left by the killer during his escape from the police. Must have been in quite a rush. Yes, Your Honor. The killer left 3 pieces of evidence. Somewhere among the evidence we're about to see, there will be something that will turn this whole situation around. Like a miracle. And then suddenly the horse from History of the World Part 1 shows up. I'm sure of it. That is all we can hope for. The first item is a pistol. Does the killer's pistol have anything to do with this case? Does that pistol have any relation to this case?
We have yet to perform a ballistics test, so I can't say anything for certain. However, I believe it has something to do with this case. At least with me.
Huh? That's the pistol that he used to shoot you, isn't it?
That's what I believe, yes.
Oh.
I kept the bullets I removed from my shoulder as a sort of memento. I'm sure it will be an excellent sample for the test.
So that's the pistol that was used to shoot Franziska. It's probably not going to help us very much. Pistol added to the court record. A small caliber pistol that is thought to have been fired at by the killer at Franziska.
The second piece of evidence is this videotape.
I bet the killer took that from On Guard Mansion. Have you checked the contents of that tape?
Unfortunately, there was no time to.
Oh yeah.
But I would speculate that this tape is very important.
Why would you say that?
Because he came back to his hideout for it.
The killer went back for it?
That's right. It looks like he was trying to recover it. He injured 3 of the officers at the site. But somehow it looks like they managed to protect it from the killer. Shelley the killer is no ordinary man.
One of the items retrieved. The killer violently tried to recover it. Contents unknown. Watch the fucking thing, you blistering idiots!
The last piece of evidence is this bellboy's uniform.
Is that a uniform from the Gatewater Hotel? Was that used during the crime? Well, drag out a TV!
I'm almost certain it was. There's even a pair of black leather gloves in one of the pockets.
There's no doubt about it. The killer was wearing this on the night of the murder.
There is one thing I found interesting about this uniform.
And what is that?
There is a button missing on this uniform.
A button?
It's a very unique button. I'm sure if we were to recover it, it would provide us with an interesting clue.
Bellboy's uniform worn by the killer on the night of the murder. One of its special buttons is missing.
That is all I have to present, Your Honor.
It is just as I thought. And what is that, Your Honor? I'm sure, were we under normal circumstances, these items from Shelley the Killer's hideout would be very important clues. However, our question is not who did the killing. It is who is the client. Yes, that is correct. And these 3 items do not tell us anything at all about that. Thank you for your hard work, Miss Von Karma. You may step down now.
Wait, Your Honor! Please allow me to examine this new evidence.
Overruled. This court already has all the evidence it needs to hand down a verdict.
Wonderful. Absolutely splendid. This judge is such a brilliant man, isn't he? Is this the end? Phoenix. I knew it. There's no such thing as a miracle in this world, is there? I think you're wrong. I think they do exist. But you have to make that miracle happen. You've come this far. You can't give up now. But no matter how you think about it, it's... Try. For my sake. Just think about it for a second. There are 2 ways out of this situation for us. 2? The first... Make On Guard wish from the bottom of his soul for a guilty verdict.
Huh?
The killer will always place his client's wishes first. If On Guard himself wishes to be convicted, then he will let his hostage go.
That may be true, but that's asking me to do the impossible.
The second way... Force the killer to end his contract with On Guard. If the killer were to no longer think of On Guard as his client, then he would let Maya go.
Yeah, that's even more impossible. He is a man who values his duty towards his clients above all else.
I know both of these seem like impossible feats at first, But if you could make either one happen, it would truly be a miracle. The bigger problem is the judge has already said he doesn't need any more evidence. The pieces he was just shown, he's not accepting them. Phoenix. Think things through from the other side. Isn't that what has always worked for us? The other side. What does she mean? You mean to turn things around? Phoenix, the judge says he doesn't need the evidence. If that's the case, then who does need it? The person who needs the evidence. The defense, prosecution, and the judge, we have seen all the pieces of evidence. And that is how we have come to know the truth. But there is one person who has yet to see them all. And that person does not know the truth. That truth, it may be what will bring about the miracle in the end.
You know your sister's life is on the line, right?
Yes.
So why the fuck are you speaking in riddles?
There are no objections this time, correct? Now then, I will pronounce my verdict.
Why don't we all respectfully sit back and listen, kids?
Objection!
I have already told you, Mr. Wright, this court does not need any more evidence.
I'm not saying it is us that needs the evidence, Your Honor.
Huh? Then you want to show the evidence to... who exactly?
Yes, Your Honor. Please, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, for you to ask with such passion, I will grant you one chance.
One chance?
Please show your evidence to who you think is the right person.
That's impossible. To turn the situation around in one try.
One try, that is all I will permit.
I have to try to remember everything that has happened up to this point.
Oh, God.
Think, Phoenix, think.
There must be a way to save Maya while taking on guard down at the same time.
Now then, Mr. Wright, let us not waste any more time. Who would you like to show evidence to? I see. And now, tell this court what one piece of evidence you would like to show this person.
Oh, that's a funnier idea. Let's show him the attorney's badge.
Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth?
I don't have anything to say to this.
How about you, Miss Von Karma?
Well, I was just shot, so...
I'm afraid I cannot allow the defense to continue.
What?
No one understands what you are talking about anymore.
But wait, please! One more chance?
That is enough, Mr. Wright. I will now state my verdict. This court finds the defendant Matt on guard.
Yay!
That is all. This court is adjourned.
And just like that, the case came to an end. I ran away from the courtroom and wandered the streets alone. I never saw Maya again. The killer is a man of his word, so I'm sure he released her as promised. I heard the verdict of Ms. Andrews' trial a few days later. She was found guilty. Of course. The miracle never happened. Maybe it was never meant to. Because a miracle is something that doesn't exist. Achievement unlocked. Justice ill-served. Bad ending. Get. Woo! Alright, so that's how you unlock it. I thought you had to, like, choose it, but I guess it's a failure state. The correct answer is Shelly the Killer and the videotape. Blap 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 ba doop ba dap bloop blap 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 ba doop ba dap bloop blap. Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? I think there is some merit in showing this evidence to that witness. Bailiff, please bring in the transceiver from earlier. All right. Looks like I managed to convince him. In the original version, it says, the miracle never happened. Maya, she's okay, right? Didn't I tell you to concern yourself with bringing about a speedy end to this trial? Now, if I understand correctly, you wish to show me one piece of evidence? Yes, one is all I need. I have here a videotape. It was found at your hideout. I heard you injured 3 officers in your attempt to get this back. That was most regrettable. However, it was an order for my client. I was told to protect that videotape. I thought so. I'm afraid I seem to have failed in that regard. Do you know the contents of this tape? I was sternly told by my client to not watch it. So I have absolutely no idea. Actually, you are on this tape. Me? There was a video camera hidden at the crime scene. Your actions were being recorded. What? Is that true? Mr. Wright? Who was it that planted a camera? Well, the only person who could have placed a camera at the scene of the crime would be your client, naturally. Huh. That was Adrian Andrews. Be quiet and listen, Your Honor. Yes, sir. Your client specified a place and time for you, isn't that right? Yes. That was so they could film you. I had no idea. Mr. Wright, why would my client do such a thing? I would like to know why. Why did Man on Guard film the crime scene? The reason why he did that is my ticket out of this whole mess. There is only one reason why your client would secretly film the crime scene. Your client once told me something very interesting. We were talking about you, and this is what they said. But I'm no weakling. I don't believe anyone. Least of all assassins. Oh, come now, Mr. Wright. Assassins aren't above blackmail. Yes, that's where the video comes in. With that, I can keep him at bay and even blackmail him if I want. your client didn't trust you at all. They were thinking of using this video to blackmail you. What do you have to say to that, Shelley DeKiller? Well... It looks like... It looks like I was being deceived from the very beginning. Yes. By a natural. That is the kind of person they are. Your client is a person who only thinks and plots of how to use the people around them to protect themselves from any and all dangers that may arise. That is the true nature of your client. I have one question for the witness. Yes. You told us one thing numerous times during your testimony. You said that you detest traitors most of all. Yes, that is right. But what if that traitor was your own client? What would you do then? That is obvious. I would break our contract in that case. And then... that client would become my next target. For the honor of the DeKiller name, even if it takes an eternity, I would follow that person to the ends of the earth to exact my punishment. I see. That's all I wanted to know. So the traitor becomes DeKiller's next target. Ah. I get it. This is how we'll turn this case around. Mr. Wright. Yes? My contract with my client is over as of now. I seem to have a new job on my hands. I will now return to you your precious item.
What the? I'm not an item!
Maya, I thought I'd never see you again. Oh, thank goodness. You're allowed to swear, Phoenix. It's been a long day. This trial appears to have come to its conclusion. However, I am sort of... I don't quite know how... Ah! Miss Von Karm, where did that... She always has you in her sights. Now, I do believe it's time to finally hand down a verdict. Mr. On Guard? It looks like somehow you got what you wanted. You will finally receive the acquittal you wanted so badly. You should be happy. But before that, I would like to make one final statement. Sometime in the near future, one very betrayed assassin may appear before you. Needless to say, that man is very good at what he does. I'm sure you would understand what I mean if you watch this video.
Help me?
Now then, Your Honor, the verdict, if you please.
Is this all right with you, Mr. Wright?
Huh? We have finally reached the end of a very long battle. Whether he's convicted or acquitted, there is no escape for him now. Go on, Phoenix. Plead whichever way your heart tells you. Right, Chief. I don't think I get anything new out of pleading not guilty here, right? Like, we already saw the failure state. I'll save here. Plead not guilty? Alright, y'all want to see him get murdered instead of jailed, huh? Congratulations, Mr. Matt on guard. Huh? Please make sure to savor every moment of what little time you have left. Your Honor, as always, the defense pleads not guilty.
Very well. This court finds the defendant, Matt on guard.
Hold it! Please wait!
What's the matter?
If I get a not guilty, I'll be killed.
What?
I'm guilty! I'm guilty! I'm guilty!
As always, it looks like we have uncovered the real truth.
We? I don't remember you helping out much in this. Sorry. That was a lot. I need to breathe deep. That hurt. Are you talking to Matt or to me? I don't remember you helping out much in this.
Mr. Edgeworth, how is Matt on guard?
I have left Miss Von Karma in charge of his incarceration. I'm sure he's getting a full-course meal of whip leather right about now.
Very good. That was a close one, wasn't it, witness?
Yes. I plan to pay my debt to society for my own crime, Your Honor. The first time I was called to the witness stand during this trial, all I felt was despair. She must be talking about the time Edgeworth really went after her. I guess she's trying to forgive him for what he did. This witness... how should I put it? She has an illness. If you're going to say you would choose death, that is of no concern to me. But after that, when I was alone at the detention center, that's the first time I really saw myself for who I am. And today, when the two of you used your combined strength to convict Matt, I felt like I had finally been saved. Wow. This is the first time I've ever seen her smile. I am really happy that you two were in charge of this case. I really don't know how to express how I feel at this moment. This is the first time I felt comfortable with myself. With who I am. Thank you so much, everyone.
It looks like we have resolved everything at last. As for myself, there are still a few things I'm confused about, but everyone seems to be in good spirits, and that is good enough for me. That is all. This court is adjourned.
You know what my favorite detail about this is? Shelley got away! Just... got away. Bye, bitches. 5:14 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 3.
You were great out there, Phoenix.
What I did out there was right, wasn't it?
This is not the first time you've... sorry. This is the first time you've not gotten your client off. You got them a guilty verdict this time. But you have to look past all of that.
I never affiliate with anyone who isn't prepared to drown me in money.
To what's really important.
Well, you can't read that because the background's white and the text is white, but thank you, Xanther, for the gifted sub to Rivienne there.
You now realize that there is something more than just getting a not guilty, right?
Yes, I understand now.
Phoenix, think back for a second. Think to the moments before Ms. Von Karma arrived with the final pieces of evidence. Think about the incredible decision you had to make.
Now then, Mr. Wright. Let's hear the defense's final statements on this matter.
I can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. Should I side with justice? Or should I save Maya's life?
I chose Maya. My client, Matt on guard, is...
Is he guilty? Or is he not guilty? Those were your choices then. And your answer. Your answer spoke to what being a lawyer means to you.
Right! Edgeworth, I have good news. Maya is now safe in police custody.
Really?
Pearls!
You're telling us the truth, right, Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, she's quite safe. She is on her way here as we speak in a patrol car.
Ah! Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya's safe! You did it! You really did it, Mr. Nick!
Ow! She punches deceptively hard for a kid.
I believed in you. I kept saying to myself, Mr. Nick will save her. Mr. Nick will save her.
Thanks.
Oh,
What's wrong?
Miss Von Karma.
About earlier. Thanks. Ow!
Why are you still smiling, Mr. Phoenix Wright? You lost! Your perfect win record has now been crushed. And yet, you're still happy?
I don't think you'll ever understand, Miss Von Karma.
How dare you!
Don't worry. She may in time. After all, I was like that myself. Until a year ago. Edgeworth? For my own personal victories. And for guilty verdicts. I used every dirty trick in the book. And so my win record remained spotless. But a man appeared and stood fast against that selfish me. I fought him in my usual manner and tasted my first defeat. I felt like I had lost everything because of that. And then... it was my turn to sit in the defendant's chair. And I was saved by that person I called my enemy. I couldn't forgive myself for all that had happened. So, I left the prosecutor's office.
But what about that other case?
I'm sorry?
You know, the one that we were involved with together, the Lana Sky case. It was really, 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 really long, and some would say over-edited, or rather under-edited. It took place months after that, and you were still there.
Ah. You know, I'd forgotten quite all about that one. Almost as if it didn't actually exist at the time that we had this conversation, and it was inserted into our pasts later on. It's a funny feeling, that. And I left that note. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth chooses death.
As well you should have. A prosecutor who has shamed himself with defeat should crawl into a hole and die.
But that was not what happened. After I left the prosecutor's office, I finally came to realize something. And it was in that moment of clarity that everything began to change.
What foolish nonsense.
We prosecutors use anything we can to attack the defendant. But every time we did so, no matter how desperate the situation, instead of giving up like most people, that man would hold strong with his undying faith. And then, before I knew it, I began to trust in that man as well.
What? You trusted your enemy?
It doesn't matter how many underhanded tricks a person uses. The truth will always find a way to make itself known. The only thing we can do is to fight with the knowledge we hold and everything we have. Erasing the paradoxes one by one. It's never easy. We claw and scratch for every inch. But we will always eventually reach that one single truth. This, I promise you.
The truth.
Yes. That's the reason why prosecutors and defense attorneys exist. But I'm sure you knew that already, didn't you, Mr. Wright? That's why you couldn't forgive me. This man who went into hiding. Isn't that right? This man who only had his sights set on victory, who ran away into the night.
Is Mr. Edgeworth right, Mr. Nick?
You really let me down.
When you disappeared, I felt betrayed. The reason I decided to become a lawyer to begin with was because I believed in the things you said to me all those years ago. And you betrayed your own words. That's why 1 year ago I made up my mind. I decided that the Miles Edgeworth I knew had died. At least, that's what I told myself. You pathetic fool.
Miss Van Karma.
I don't want to hear the wretched whimpering of a disgraced loser. A Von Karma is someone who is destined to be perfect. Miles Edgeworth, you are no longer worthy. You are no longer worthy of being a Von Karma. And neither am I. It's over. It's all over!
Franziska threw something on the ground just now. This is an electromagnetic receiver.
It looks like a Dragon Ball Z Bulma thing. What is it? It's not the scouter, that's on your eye. What's that thing that she uses to detect the balls? It's the ball finder? It's a dragon radar. Yeah, it's a ball finder. Isn't that the thing she used to track Detective Gumshoe?
I'll return this to the precinct later. There's something else.
Isn't that Miss Van Karma's whip?
I'll never set foot in another courtroom again. I'm sure that's what she's saying by this action. You should keep this, right?
Okay. Why?
I think a little exploration into the kinkier side of things might be good for you. You need to relieve some tension.
That was unnecessarily personal, Miles.
I know. I stand by it.
Maya!
Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya!
Blah na 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 na. Blah na 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 na. Blah na 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 na.
Oh, Nick! I knew you would come through. You got on guard convicted like I knew you would. And on top of that, you even rescued me.
Well, of course I did. You know I would never desert you. But we sure pressed our luck this trial. We're really lucky to be standing here. Whatever. Look, it's okay. It's over, okay? Besides, if I did croak, I'd just come back and haunt you like a bad ghost through Pearly. Is it really that easy to do something like that?
Thanks a lot,
Nick. Don't mention it.
Maya.
Oh, Mr. Edgeworth.
I am relieved that you are all right.
Hey, looks like you've made some real progress, Mr. Edgeworth.
Well, I suppose I'm a little different from who I was a year ago.
Huh. All right. I think it's time we got out of this depressing place.
Huh? Where are we going?
Food, Nick, food! Grab
grub, chow, I'm starved! I'm so hungry, even you look like a nice juicy burger on a bun to me, Nick.
You think I look like a burger? Hey, I'm a prime rib at least.
Come with us, Mr. Edgeworth, please.
If you insist. Alright, so how about we hit up our usual burger joint?
Don't be silly, Nick.
Huh?
This case messed up that awesome evening and got in the way of my gourmet food. So I've decided that we have to make it up by having another feast.
Another feast?
Come on, Nick! Food!
I don't think the food on those tables is still safe to eat. Hey, pal! Sorry to keep you guys waiting. They had to take me in for emergency artwork because they'd never actually, showed me without a jacket before, so they had to redo the whole model. I was in there for hours, hair and makeup. Plus, they gotta put this shit in my head. Gumshoe, are you all right? Yeah, but I'm really embarrassed. I didn't think I would hit a telephone pole of all things. A telephone pole? And it wasn't a red light that got him?
You did it again, city boy! I felt like my dear old heart was gonna give out on me. And I ain't joking!
Yeah, it was more exciting than the very last episode of The Steel Samurai. Thanks.
Now look at here, Mr. Snooty Prosecutor. Don't you reckon you bullied Mr. Wright too hard? If you don't start being a lot nicer to him, he just might kick it. Tonight even.
I'll keep that in mind.
Well, come on now. Everyone gather round. Y'all are gonna get your picture taken by a genuine professional photographer.
Looks like Lotta bought herself a new camera.
Oh, no. I just stole one of the ones from this press conference. They never bothered to pack everything up.
Well, pal, at least we can put this messy case behind us now. Come on, tonight's all about eating, so let's go chow down, pal.
Amen to that, pal. Amen.
You know, when you think about it, you were the one who saved the day, Detective. Huh? Me? You really think so? He's right. If it wasn't for the 3 items you took, I think this trial would have had a very different ending. Well, it's... Huh? Wait. That's odd. When I ran off with the things from the killer's hideout, I was sure I took 4 things in total, sir.
What? 4?
Yeah, I'm sure I put one of the items in my coat pocket. There was a 4th item?
Aw, come on, y'all, it's over. But whoo boy, I tell you really are something else. Between getting accused of murder and getting kidnapped, never a dull moment with you, huh?
You think? Why does she look so happy about that?
But being shut away for 2 whole days, weren't you scared?
Yeah, it was really scary. I felt so hopeless. So to keep my mind off of things, I drew a picture. Sounds like you had it rough, gal. So where's this picture of yours?
Yeah, I want to see it. I want to see Mystic Maya's picture.
I don't know where it went.
Aw, that's too bad.
Well, it's alright. Wasn't anything important anyway.
Sure is nice to finally see them both smiling again. Anyway, Gumshoe, could you pull that picture out of your pocket because it's obviously the picture? What is it, Edgeworth? This thing is picking something up. That's Miss Von Karma's receiver! Thanks to her, I had the most awful experience of my life, sir. I can't believe she stuck a tracking device on me. Oh yeah, it's not wearing his coat. That's odd. Even though you're standing right here, the tracking device seems to be at a different location. Oh, it's probably busted or something, sir. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm afraid it's about time for me to excuse myself. I'm desperate for a shit. No, I still have some work to do.
Huh? But Mr. Edgeworth, you haven't even eaten anything yet.
And you've eaten way too much, you glutton. I had fun tonight. Now, if you'll excuse me, Wait. What? I just want to say thanks, Edgeworth. You really saved me out there. If anyone should be saying thanks, it should be me, right? I feel like words alone aren't enough here. I wonder if there's anything I can give him to express how I feel. We can give him the badge, the Magatama, the Nickel Samurai, the Shelly the Killer's transceiver, Lotta's camera, a glass of wine. No, it's actually a glass of tomato juice. A suicide report. Not that.
Time for a few games of Throne of Lies, Kappa.
Time for a few games of Go Fuck Yourself, Bazza. Give him Shelly the Killer's calling card. You make me want to murder you. Give him a bear. Give him a gun. Give him a videotape of a murder. Give him the bellboy's uniform. I think you should change careers and work in the hotel. We could give him Franziska's whip, because that's an this is the answer, because it wouldn't be in our fucking evidence log if it wasn't. Thrown away by Franziska von Karma, it has a certain mysterious nostalgia to it. What's this? What's this? What's this? It's Franziska's whip. What's this? What's this? It hurts like a bitch. Thank you. It's all thanks to you two. You and her. You don't need to thank me. I was only doing my job.
It looks like Mr. Edgeworth has left, Mr. Nick. Hey, Mystic Maya! Yes, Pearly? I guess you two can go back to being lovey-dovey, right? You and Mr. Nick, I mean. Pearly? Would you cut it out already? You're embarrassing me.
Anyway. So, who's paying for this lovely dinner party?
As if you need to ask. Everyone say thank you to Nick.
Huh? Yeah, I'm kinda at the point where I can't even buy instant noodles, pal. So I kinda already put your name on the bill.
Huh? Yeah, I got me a situation just like that myself. There's this camera shop in this hotel, see? And I just bought myself this good old beauty here. It'll be better be anyhow for $3,000. Huh? Actually, I reckon you bought it for me since it's on your tab and all. Isn't this great, Mr. Nick? Yeah, Nick.
Why do I suddenly feel like screaming?
Aw, you don't need to hold back now, you hear?
Yeah, pal. Time to let it all out.
This is going to be the first time I hear the real you.
Go on. It's been a while since I heard you say it. It's been busy, being a hostage and all. Alright then. If you say so. In the DS version, that's actually a moment where they force you to use... So one of the DS's features was a microphone, and so you could yell objection. You didn't have to, you could always press the button, but you had to yell objection at the end of the game.
You really came through for me, Nick. I had to hide that letter, but I knew you'd find it. I really feel like I've been living on the edge lately. I mean, I've escaped death 3 times now. Pretty cool, huh? I feel like a pro.
Ooh. This goes through all of the old... Hang on. I'm just gonna sit in my voice chat. Just in case.
I'm so happy that you could save Mystic Maya, Mr. Nick. And I'm so happy for the two of you. Speaking of which, I think this hotel is a popular place for honeymooners. So I sort of made reservations for the two of you. Just in case.
Fucking hell, Pearl. Bling, bling. But yeah, I kind of hate these credits because of the, all of the lines of dialogue here are on rails, so I can't really commentate. I have to, yeah.
Well, pal, looks like I'm back on the force again. Mr. Edgeworth had a long talk with the chief, and he got me reinstated for my sake. I heard he said things like, letting that one go is bad for all of society. I knew it. Crashing headlong into everything is the only way to live, pal.
A concussion a day keeps the doctor well paid. God, I don't remember her voice at all.
I, Maggie Bird, am retiring this uniform as of today, sir. I'm going to be a waitress from now on. And bring smiles and joy to the people who come by the restaurant, sir. I hope you'll stop by sometime, Mr. Wright.
It's basically just Mike Meekins, but lady. Michelle Meekins. Maggie Meekins, there you go.
Yes. Are you here to visit a patient? I'm Director Harvey. Recently, yes, that girl, you know. I haven't seen her around. Yes, but I remember. If I even laid so much as an eye on her, it would go crack. It didn't matter if I got whipped, though. Yes.
It's time to begin our quest of world circus domination, sweetie. And to let the world know we are serious, I plan to make a fabulous flight to Zimbabwe.
Hey, Max, what do you think Zimbabwe is like? Do you think there are castles made of cake and bunnies who can talk?
I think if there are any talking bunnies, even they won't laugh at Moe's jokes.
I'm ready. There's no way these jokes are gonna fall on deaf ears. I'm going to be more contemporary with my humor. Mo Curls represent.
We've got a new act all figured out. It's the Hallelujah Chorus. Say something, will you? You're supposed to start this off. Get on with it.
Thank you again, guest star Snip.
Had
That-
to wake up for this.
Clown just never fucks off. But goodbye.
What's this? Drat, it's just an ordinary electric razor recharging on the stand. I can't believe this, really. How long do they plan on making me do this? Ah, but it's Edgy Poo's idea, so that means it must have a deep hidden meaning. But why do I get the feeling they wouldn't forget about me, would they? Oh, it was never like this in the old days. Everyone thought the world of me. They used to call me Queen Wendy and treat me like royalty, and any man who hasn't heard about this is going to feel the pain of my heel, and they're going to burn! Speaking of burn, playing with fire is very dangerous. When they saw the scenery burned right down, then we had a bit of it.
I appreciate everything you and Mr. Edgeworth did for me, from the bottom of my heart. Oh, that's right. I received a letter from Miss Von Karma. She said that after I get out, I should feel free to consult her about anything at all. I'm really thankful to have met everyone. It has become difficult for me in this country as of late. As such, I will take a short leave of absence. If you would like to request my services, please be sure to visit my homepage. May we both be blessed with longevity. This radio will self-destruct 10 seconds ago. March 23, 9:42 p.m. International Departures Gate 12. Where are you going, Franziska?
How did you know I was here?
With this.
That's...
I heard you were planting things on a certain person. Things like tracking devices in his coat, for example.
That's just like you. I only planted it there because he was always wearing it. This filthy drab coat of his. I don't know how it ended up in my luggage. But it's going in the trash, I promise you that.
Oh, that's right. Speaking of that man, he told me something very interesting. When I ran off with the things from the killer's hideout, I was sure I took 4 things in total, sir.
4 things.
It seems he put the last one in his coat pocket.
He put it in here. It doesn't matter anymore. The case is already over.
What are you going to do now?
That's none of your business.
Are you running away?
Shut up! You don't understand a thing. You can't possibly understand what it means to be Manfred von Karma's daughter.
Franziska?
So many expectations from everyone around me. Expectations I must fulfill. I'm expected to win no matter what. And failure? Such thing is not an option for me. My father was a genius.
My mother commanded respect. When they died, they left no instructions, just a legacy to protect. Law does not discriminate between the sinners and the saints. It takes and it takes and it takes, and we keep living anyway.
My father was a genius. There's no doubt about that, but me, I'm no genius. I've always known that. But I had to be one. I had to.
You may not be a genius like your father, but you are a prosecutor. You have been, and always will be.
No, I'm not. Not anymore. I've even thrown my whip away.
Speaking of that, Wright gave me this to hold on to. Right. You knew something like this would happen, didn't you? I'm going to say this again. We prosecutors do not fight for personal honor or pride. I hope you will think deeply about what you should be striking down with that whip.
You haven't changed a bit. You've always left me alone and walked on ahead without me. Miles Edgeworth, I've always hated you. And then, finally, my chance to take my revenge on you arrived. If I could win against that man, if I could make Phoenix Wright bow down in defeat, then this girl you left behind would have risen higher than you. That was supposed to be my revenge.
I see.
You know, I can't do it. I can't change who I am. I can't throw away everything I've been until today.
I believe you can. Just like how Adrian Andrews did.
Adrian Andrews?
You were going to use her during the trial, right? But you were dependent on your father by using his tactics. Isn't that right? Today you chased after me, after I had left you behind all these years. And that's why we're standing here now, side by side. But I have no intention of stopping. If you say you are going to quit your walk down the prosecutor's path, then this is where we part ways, Franziska von Karma.
I am Franziska von Karma. Don't think I'm going to walk in your shadow forever. Our battle begins now, so you had better prepare yourself, Miles Edgeworth.
Phoenix Wright. One day, someday, I'm sure we'll meet again in battle. Until then, this last piece of evidence that never made it to you, I'll take good care of this fourth piece, so I can give it to you when at last we meet again. Okay, it's probably Franziska. I neutraled that because I wasn't sure which of them it was going to be. Oh, that is so
desperately dumb. Farewell, my turnabout. And that is the second game of the Ace Attorney trilogy. I'd have like an hour and a half, I think. I don't know if it's worth swapping to a filler game when I don't have half the stream. Yeah, we're at about 3 hours, which is pretty, Oh god. That was a noise. Next case would be the first case of Game 3. Streets of Rogue is around this length. An hour and 45? No, it isn't. It takes a lot longer than that. I like that a lot of people who weren't around for when I stated things earlier are now making suggestions that aren't happening. Next week, next Saturday, I am not streaming on the weekend. I am taking time off, spend time with people who matter. So the intention was always not to start Game 3, because if I did, then there'd be a gap. But I also don't know if I will start Game 3 immediately next. I might divert to something else, and the reason why is because we're working on that music video thing, and it might be a business-wise better choice to, considering that might not be ready until March or April, it might be better to not run out of Phoenix Wright to stream when I show that to the world, in case it brings more people with an interest in watching me stream Phoenix Wright. So it might be this might be a close on it for now, and then we get back to Trials and Tribulations, which is the name of the third game, in a few, like a month and a half. I don't know. Depends on how the process goes, because it's not in my hands. It's in the hands of a video animator and an audio producer. This is normally the point where I would go and get my my lunch break, which is a pretty long break. This is where I'm sort of thinking about it. It's like there's an hour and 40 minutes, but if I take a 20-minute break, then it's like an hour and 20 minutes, and that's to finish at 4, which is pretty late. I might just scrap it here, with the intention of going the full 6 hours tomorrow, because they do take a lot. Like, you know, 6 hours is a lot. We do 4 normally, and I find that I'm enjoying Ace Attorney's ability to give me a reason to stop after 5 hours, which is a bit more manageable. But anyway. Yeah, mostly I just want to relax and eat something now, so I think if I did filler stuff, it would literally just be by road. I absolutely would have if it wasn't so damn late. But it is. Anyway, we'll let this music play me out. Is there anyone I can raid that I normally don't get to because of the time? Yeah, you make a good point, Nitrek. Kiko, he's not about to stop. We can go see Kiko. But yeah. If it lets me, remember the raid fucked up last time. Didn't let me raid Snip on his birthday. You all were there. I tried to raid Snip on his birthday, and the raid literally glitched out and refused to let me. Nope, it's working fine now. Now that it's not Snip. Anyway, this has been a great raid. I really enjoyed Game 2's last case. It makes the whole game for me. Especially Shelly the Killer, who's just, my favorite Ace Attorney villain ever. And he's so, like, mostly emotionless in how he delivers his lines. I was very careful about that. Even when the text was having him shout and that, there was lot of measuredness, a bit like D. Vasquez in that sense. And the wonderful twist of losing the case being the winning move. I really, really appreciate that they went there and did a turnabout on our turnabout. Anyway, I'll be back tomorrow with Final Fantasy XIV. Next Saturday I won't be here. The Saturday after that, we might start Ace Attorney 3, we may not. If we don't, rest assured, I will stream Ace Attorney 3. It just might take a month or two gap before we get into it. So if you're only interested in watching me play Ace Attorney and you're not here for anything else I do, just keep me in your mind and check in on Saturdays to see if I've started yet. Because one day I will. However, I might also not take a gap and start. I don't know. Haven't fully decided. Fairly well. Let's go see Kiko.